Okay. Approve of the agenda. Can I make
I'll make
motion?
a motion to approve
Okay.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, we need a motion for the consent agenda.
Make a motion for the consent agenda.
the agenda.
All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Okay, are we ready? We got public forum coming up next. So anybody, that's next, right?
Yeah.
You didn't change me around again.
Oh, no, let's go.
Okay. Who wants to speak? Okay, you got your hand up first, come on, right there.
I was wondering about the water situation and also about, you know, your debt, the debt the city's in.
Can I have your name?
Carol Hudson. I'm in your ward.
Okay, nice to meet you.
Well, I was curious who you were. But, you know, they mentioned something earlier about the water and the sewer being raised to help.
Maybe I can help you with that a little bit.
I was gonna answer,
Yeah, you go ahead.
we are gonna have to raise the water and sewer. There is no getting around it.
But, like, how much?
Well, we're trying to get it where we're not in the black. I'm not sure, the board will decide tonight how much and what and how, okay?
Well, I think that there's other ways you can go around to help get out of the black besides making the citizens
Like what?
get
You tell us.
do some cuts. You gotta cut. I mean, you can't keep spending when you don't have the money.
You're right.
And you raise the water and you raise the sewer, you raise it a lot. There's a lot of people in this town that are on fixed incomes. And a lot of them are struggling. And I know of people that have moved out of this town because of the water bill. And we could have sold our house. But whenever they found out about the water,
Well, let me tell you something else, if something isn't done and done right, where it's bringing the money into this town, you ain't gonna have to worry, because you ain't gonna have no town. Because we got to do something to get it back the way it was, and that's all I was saying.
well, I know that, but I mean, I think there's other things that you also can do. I mean, like for a year or two, the city boycotted the station. Hey, they took their money and went out of town to buy the gas and whatever. That station brings revenue into this town, and you all boycotted that place. Now, you're in the hole. I can't help it, you're burying yourself. And
Madam Mayor, I'd like to follow up though, because I think I've got something I can help you with, let me answer this lady's questions here. We have just finished an in-depth review of our water situation. I mean, hours and hours of work, 4 weeks to, work closely with our clerk to look at all our expenses associated with our water department and our labor to handle the water department and the collection of the water department. And our goal is to not raise water rates, but perhaps pass along an increase that we have from a county anyway. The county has good reasons why they've had to raise our water, and we understand that, and they've explained that to us clearly. But, and those we have to pass along, but we have some options, and we're going to be discussing those. And one is that we can gradually raise the water rate to meet what we're behind now, which is really 2 increases, this budget, and then on our next budget raise it again, or we can vote to raise it at one time, but it's going to be very limited and with a focus on people that are retired and are on fixed incomes, because we understand that a lot of folks that are on fixed incomes now that are older may only be collecting $700 or $800 a month, and a $55 or $60 water bill is cost prohibitive for them. So we've taken that into careful consideration, and I think as you see us go along, we're going to talk about that. We've talked to our residents in our wards, and we've heard you before from other people, and we've taken that into consideration. So when we present it to you, I think you'll be happy with what we've got to do. Okay.
Okay, anybody else got to speak? Okay. Joanne?
Okay. I've been real concerned about Mill Street work. We have a street out at the subdivision that the chamber established that's need of repair, and we are going to do it ourselves. Okay, I asked Mr. Woods for a printout of the revenue and expenses for the last 5 years for the city. And I also told him at the time that I did that money that is collected for fuel tax and for the transportation tax is to be used only for the repair and maintenance and for the making of streets, and it's in the state constitution.
Right.
It's not to be used for equipment. It's to be used for, and it tells you down here what it is. Okay, I see on this printout here that there was, out of the street fund, a capital outlay of $52,525. But I don't know what that is because down here below we have street repairs and maintenance of $20,000. There has not been any streets overlaid or anything in 5 years that I asked for. And I don't know where you could have spent $52,524. Now, if somebody's got an answer for me, I'd appreciate that. But I just want to remind you that we need these streets finished. There needs to be something done. If you're
I
borrowing
looked
all
at
the
it
money
up the other day
to
too.
support, if you're taking the money to support the water and the sewer, which you have been doing by taking all of these CDs out, and I see on your agenda you're going to do another one tonight. You're going to break the city. The city's going to be broke. You cannot keep to doing that. You should have raised the rates when you got the first increase. You should increase both the minimum and the extra gallons because there's a large percentage of the people in this town that only use the minimum. You can't expect the other 50% to pay for all of the expenses. There's nothing free in this world. Now we're on the brink of disaster, of bankruptcy, the city is. And you can take and say you're going to do something with the rates, but I think it's a couple of years behind time. I'm sorry, but
I've been trying to get this done for a while.
you should have done it when you got the increase right away. You had no choice.
The water and sewer under Department of Natural Resources is supposed to support itself. And you're trying to cut all, I understand you're considering the police department, employees, everything. That ain't gonna change what you gotta do for the water. Because them people are coming out different money, different, I understand you, through the grapevine, you're talking about maybe eliminating the police department, going to a marshal. I think that's 100% wrong. You people live up there on the hill. Come down and spend 3 days with me down here when you get rid of the police officer and set in my yard with me. I don't go up on the hill at nighttime. I sit down here and hear it and see it. But it ain't going to help the police department. Well, you got to raise the water. You're going to have to raise the $2 that they raised you over the 2 years. Plus, you're going to have to raise it to make up for the 2 years you didn't collect that $2. You can't make it up out of the general revenue fund. You can't take it away from the police department. The fire department, you've been taking their money and you're putting it in the general fund, you're taking it out. All the fire department money should go to the fire department. That's the rule there, that's our related fire department. So you can't use the general fund to bail you into the mistake that. Now, one president once said, if you make a decision based on whether you're going to get reelected again, you ain't got no business being in that office. You got to make a decision on what's right for the city.
What do you suggest?
I suggest you got to raise the rate, but now then we got to believe for it because you didn't do it 2 years ago.
I mean, I understand that we're dealing with a mess now, but we raised the rates. What else do we have to do? What can we
You
do?
have to raise the rate. They had to by law. The water and sewer had to support themselves
That's
with the
what
surplus.
that.
And then you cannot raise it to a surplus overnight. But you're going, just raising the $2, well, they don't understand. I'm not talking about raising our rate to $2. The $2 per gallon is down 1,000 gallons. You're going to have to do that. And you're going to have a small percentage to start catching up before you got behind. Because we got to pay for that. First year you went a year without collecting dollars, and then you went another year without collecting. You're going to have to pay, you're going to have to make it up. You can't make it up off the fire department, police department. It's the taxpayers that got those people use the water, so I paid for you. It's a mistake. Now, I'm, Aldermen wasn't there all the time, so maybe what?
I think you're parroting basically what David's told us during our sessions. He's tell us exactly what he
But
was
you should have
told us.
known that 3 years ago.
Well, we didn't know 3 years ago, most of us weren't here.
Yeah,
But that's okay, the fact is that we've done something about it, we know where you're at.
But
And we were just as concerned as you are right now, 3 months ago, when we got to this point, but we know what we need to do now. And we do know that we're talking with an awful lot of residents that live here that know and speak just like you do, and just like Joanne does, and just like that fine lady back there. And as a board, we're gonna act on it.
But
So
I'm
you
hoping,
you need to watch us because we
I'm hoping watching, but what I'm
do have a
saying,
plan. But
you can't do it on the back of the police department, the fire department, and everything else.
Carl, we said that too, we've already said that. We're gonna take care of the water issue, but we also have a general fund revenue issue too. So when we're going into the budget and we're looking at it, we've got our budget this year, we thought we had a balanced budget. We weren't aware that there was a rate increase last year. We just didn't know in 2017 that there was a rate increase. I didn't.
Why didn't you know it?
Well, no,
But they sent you a letter telling you they were
we
increasing.
were
the
here,
rates.
we didn't know it.
But
And anyway, when we were told, and David did tell us, we realized there was another one coming up, remember at the meeting. So anyway, we've addressed that issue. But the fact is, you've had a big turnover in your, the Alderman board here, and there's not an educational process to move from one to the next, and some things like that probably got
I'll
lost.
ask one more question.
Yeah,
You can't get to the education part. Now, you got, I think this lady here just got elected.
right.
He got a year in, you got a year in. Has any of you been to the MML training sessions?
ML.
No, I don't know what that
You
is.
don't know what it is?
Tell me.
Yeah, I want to. Joanne myself, years ago,
And some of the other.
every time we'd have election, and going back, different mayors, different things, MML would have meetings to educate all the new officers and things, and we went every year. And I had in several years as mayor, she had in many, many years as clerk, and we'd always comment, coming home, we found something that we didn't know, everyone we went to.
That would have been a good
Everyone,
idea.
they have them every year, they still have them. MML is free, well, I think we pay a dues to
Who
it,
sponsors
but
it?
it's small.
Who sponsors
But
it?
it's one of the most important tools you got. They can tell you anything, any problem, they've had it, they've dealt with it. And you people, and the best thing in the world you can do is find out where MML, usually it's at Sykeston, most of them.
Well,
I called Jeff City.
Missouri Municipal League, and they give them around.
I talked to
Did you
Jeff
get anything,
City.
Dave?
Well, MML is better than Jefferson City on a lot of things, but they deal
It
with
is
the
in
community.
Missouri Municipal
But
League.
I'm telling you, you need to go to
That's good
the
advice.
site. Joanne had in, probably the last time we went, she had 25 or 30 years there. And we still went every year, but every year we learned something. Some of it would be new laws and some of it we just didn't know.
That's good to know. Thank
But
you.
I never went to some, I did learn something on it.
Yeah.
They'd have it for the clerk, over to different things and different officers. But it's great, but I didn't think anybody there knew what it was.
No, we had a rough learning curve at the beginning of this year, beginning of our season here because of newness. And it
Anybody
took-
else?
It took us a while to get past that, Carl.
The only thing I have is, how can the police and everything come on private property and issue tickets without being requested by the property owner? That's the problem we got right now at the antique mall.
I know about that too.
What is that?
Well, some handicapped people got tickets, and they're both handicapped, but did not properly have it displayed. But they did not come in and inquire about it, did not run the license to find out if they're, apparently they did. They find out if they were handicapped or what, but they still gotta go to court now. And it is an issue.
That's not, the property owner did not complain about it.
Yeah, yeah, it's on private property.
I told him, when I called him, I said, you should have never wrote that ticket. I said, you should have walked inside there and checked it out before you ever wrote it. Didn't I?
But whenever you
But I
run
tried to
the-
get it
He
canceled.
did warn the other lady, correct?
He's young and learning.
I tried to get it canceled, so she would not have to get out being handicapped. But I couldn't.
She's definitely handicapped.
I couldn't get it canceled. You know what I mean? Court wouldn't do it, she had to go to court.
But whenever you run a license plate, it doesn't say if a person is disabled or not. And running the name
That's not
doesn't say.
it.
So,
If
and
they
it could
got,
have been a 20-year-old borrowing a grandma's car and just park there. So I had no way to know. That's why I said if she comes to court and brings verification that she is disabled, then it would just be dismissed.
Okay. You got anything else? Okay.
I do.
I didn't see you back there. Okay.
So, worst case scenario, the city files bankruptcy. Who foots the bill for that?
We're not gonna file bankruptcy, that's for
No,
sure.
we're not. And not only that, I want to tell you, it's not good. Sometimes you sit down and I'll talk to you and tell you what really goes on if this would happen, and it ain't good. At all. I'll talk to you sometime if you want to talk about it.
Like that.
Okay. I can tell you exactly what would happen if the city was not a city. And like I said, you don't want that. I guarantee you. Okay. You got something to say, Brian?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Are we done? Anybody else? Okay. Oh, okay, you ready? Canvassing of election results and acceptance by the board.
All right, I've got the certified election results that are in your packets as well. On the April 2nd, 2019 municipal election, for the position of collector, Ned Hacker had 61 votes. There was no other candidates. In the election for Alderman Ward 1, Clyde Casu had 15 votes. Jennifer Weiss had 17 votes. In the election for Alderman Ward 2, Rose Rosenzweig had 20 votes. Jennifer Swartz had 30 votes. And for Proposition A, the sales tax increase, yes was 37 and no was 47. And I need a motion to accept the results.
I'll make a motion to accept.
All right. All right, all those in favor say aye.
Okay, now we're gonna swear in the newly elected officials. And Rose, I wanna thank you for serving and serving. Thank you very much.
If they're gonna take a picture.
Oh, no.
All right, raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Ned Hacker,
Do solemnly swear that I
do solemnly swear that
will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the state of Missouri.
and the state of Missouri,
The provision of all laws of the state
the provisions of all laws of the state
affecting cities of this class
affecting cities of this class
and the ordinances of the city.
and the ordinances of the city,
That I possess the qualifications required
that I possess the qualifications required
for such office as specified
for such office as specified
in the laws of the state of Missouri.
in the laws of the state of Missouri,
And that I will deem myself faithfully in said office.
and I will deem myself faithfully in said office.
Will work.
Oh, I get some over there?
Yep, you get to move.
Yeah, you don't have to sit over
Step
there.
on up.
Okay, the next on the agenda is the board has to select the president of the board. That is entirely up to you guys, I have. Well, you could have decided. Oh. Well, we said.
That wasn't funny, but you got a good reflex.
I nominate Cody Meyer.
And then you gotta vote on it, right?
Somebody motion, I need a second.
It,
Okay.
yeah, I can take precedent, that's fine.
We need a second motion.
I'll second it.
He can do,
He can.
he sure can, he sure can.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. Let's do a roll call vote on Cody Myers as board president, mayor pro tem. Alderman Schwartz?
Yes.
All right, Alderman Brian Helms?
No.
All right, Alderman Jennifer Weiss?
No.
Alderman Cody Myers?
Yes.
All right, we have a tie.
Looks like the mayor gets it.
That's it. Nobody else gets, we can't
I'm not
have no more.
sure,
No.
they'd have to be another nomination, but it's retired, I don't know what to do on that.
Yeah, I got the
You
same
can
section.
vote,
It
but
doesn't
you can vote yes or no, I mean, you can vote him in, but you can vote him out. You have to break this tie.
Okay, I hear you. I got you. I'm gonna say yes.
That makes him board president.
Yeah, not the first one.
Okay, city appointments. Come on. You ready? City treasurer, Tony Shelley. City attorney, Duke Nugent. City prosecutor, Duke Nugent. Municipal court judge, Suzanne Germinger, which that won't be very long because we're moving up St. John. Municipal court clerk, David Woods. Police chief, Jim Maurice. City clerk, David Woods. Floodplain administrator, David Woods. Building inspector, Annette Hacker. And public works director, David Woods. Department assignments, I still scratching my head over this one.
You can wait if you want, I mean.
I think I will, just for table one time, because I really ain't got my mind made up what I want to do. Okay. Okay, the next is proclamation of applications to Mayor Chamber of Commerce. Proclamation of appreciation to the Chamber of Commerce. The City of St. Mary would like to express our appreciation for the generosity of the St. Mary Chamber of Commerce. The St. Mary Chamber of Commerce has paid for the repair to our tractor for close to $2,000. As Mayor, I decree this proclamation to express our sincere gratitude to the St. Mary Chamber of Commerce.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Now we can go on here. We got water and sewer. Now, before we go into that, I'm gonna say something. We're gonna have to get out of this hole. Carl is absolutely right. And I've got specs that I put up right here. That's my opinion. But the board has to make a decision, but we have to do something. So you've got the floor, the board has.
Jody, may I go ahead and speak? After an extensive workshop with David, we know exactly where we are dollar-wise with where our loss is in water sewer. And not only in water sewer, but it's significant for the city. Not that we can't recover from this, though. But we did have to look at several different exercises to get to where we wanted to be. And one is, like Joanne mentioned before, we looked at the first 1,000 gallons and we made that a consideration for the citizens. We also looked at the total increase that we need to adjust to, as in a way that we could kind of dovetail it in, part this year and then part next year. And then we looked at just putting the whole increase in now. and make a budget conciliation and just say, going forward after the month of May, when we have our public hearing, we will raise the rates this amount and go on from there. It's not going to pull us out of the hole that we're in right now for city water, but it will certainly help us by the time we get to our next year's budget. So what our recommendation is in the water sewer area is that we go ahead with a full increase, and we wait to, I guess, vote on that water sewer at the hearing. Is that when we do that, David, or do we?
You guys can pick the amount that you want to raise it, and then I'll have ordinances written for the next meeting, and then I'll also have to publish a public hearing, because you have to have a public hearing to increase sewer rates.
Exactly. So my motion is that we go ahead and increase it to $2 now, and we have it approved at our next meeting, which will also adjust our sewer. Pardon me.
I hate to interrupt you, but you're saying $2 where?
How do you mean that?
Well, we talked about an increase of $1 a 1,000 gallons, right, David?
The public water district raised us a dollar per 1,000 last year and this year.
Yeah. So, $2, right?
You're gonna put $1 on them and $1 on
That's
each
right, that's what they're
Yeah.
charging us.
Yeah. Yes.
And then I did like our numbers
Right.
and got spreadsheets for like, our shortages, and then what we would need to use to make up those shortages.
David did a very in-depth exercise that we asked him to do, and we looked at it, extended it across, and if we implement it now, by the time we get into our budget process in August and we end next year, we're gonna be just fine. That increase isn't gonna kill anybody. It's not gonna be too tough on anybody.
I know.
17 or 27%.
Jim,
Who had the budget?
Is that gonna help us get out? Just
That's
$2? Is that
No.
gonna, we need to go more than that. We
Right.
can't just raise it $2.
That's what we were just talking about, no, it's not.
These were in your package.
I understand, yeah, that, they understand it apparently.
David, do you want to go ahead and explain the $2, how we came to the $2? Is because,
Well, the $2 is what the public water district has raised us over the past 2 years. But, I mean, we were short, in 2016, Missouri Rural Water Association said we need to raise like 74%, and that's before
That
our
is what
rates
I,
went
my
up.
opinion.
so the exercise that we went through was we had a loss in water, for example, of $20,472. And if we increase that water rate $2 right now, we're still gonna be at a loss of $7,500 by the end of this budget year. But we won't be at the next budget year, at the year end. And that was the reasoning behind it. Not to put it all in there, we weren't gonna be able to recover. We're already into this, we're not gonna recover our loss for this whole year by raising the rate any higher. We're still gonna have a little loss at the end of this year. But with this increase, right, David? With this increase, we were supposed to break even on our water.
On water, to make up the 20,472, that would be the 17% increase. And that means that the first 1,000 would go from 24.15 to 28.26, and additional gallons would go from 11.29 to 13.21. So, so the additional 1,000 would be about $2, but the first 1,000 would be more like 4.
Yeah, but that's basically what we were doing. I mean, that's what I have on my notes here, but I didn't type it up.
Anybody else got any opinion?
Can I ask one question?
Yeah, just a minute, I'm sorry.
Has anybody talked to DNR? Have they tell you gotta do something? Have they been in contact with them?
Yes.
You know, they may, man, if you don't do something to show that you're gonna catch this head up, if they come in here and set these rates,
You
you're
ain't
gonna have
gonna
folks down there. But if you don't show that you're trying your best to not only get level, but catch up,
Right.
they may come in and do it, and they can, because they, over these bond tenders and things, they're gonna start getting nervous.
Well,
But you gotta catch up. I don't wanna pay no water bill, hell, I pay a lot. And I got 3 meters right now.
David, is it that the loss that we've already had is money we settled on to general revenue to balance, paying everything out?
Well, yeah, because water sewer, I mean, I have to transfer money every couple of weeks actually from general into water sewer just so
Right.
I can.
And maybe not everybody understands that.
Well, are you gonna
Frankie,
have
you
enough
got
money to pay your bills
Yeah.
every month with $2? Is that gonna?
It generates,
No, Frankie's got the floor right now.
The thing about it is working for the water and sewer department. I mean, I'm in the field every day and see what we're actually doing and everything. The whole point about it is, I mean, with $2 ain't gonna get you out of nowhere. And plus you gotta raise your sewer rate and your water rate at the same time because one, you have a grinder fund coming out and we got grinders that we're working on. Grinder prices are going up, materials are going up, testing supplies going up. Every single day, these supplies are starting to go up. Bleach, we got to chemical our water, we got to, sanitize our water, with chlorine, which that was not supposed to be in the specs whenever we got the water, but that's what happened because of back T samples being bad down the line before. The thing about it is everything's going up, materials are going up, we got to have fittings, chemical pumps, everything, that's all going up. And I live here too, and I understand that you turn around and water rates are going up. I mean, I got 5 people in my house, so, the thing about it is, it's ridiculous. But in the other simple fact of working in the field, I understand the water's got to go somewhere because we got to get back on a level basis. Us working in the red all the time, we're gonna, and using our CDs to get us out of the red every month is not working out. It's gonna have to actually be raised. In my opinion, actually, of working in the water and sewer rates, I think you guys should at least raise your percentage at 5%. And anyways, that's 2% altogether is on the water and sewer rates both.
David, you did an exercise, he did an exercise for 5%, didn't you? We did 5%, 8%.
Right, on these sheets, I've got like, what would happen if we raise them 5, 10, 15, 20, and, in 5%.
Joanne, you got something you want to
And then I
say?
zeroed in on the break even.
Okay. 5?
I like, go ahead, we have something. Can I speak? Okay. What I'm trying to figure out, you're talking about the $2 rate. We've already been paying that. So that's gonna make it even as far as paying, so we're not gaining any money for the repair. So we're gonna have to have, we're still common, it's simple.
Sure, and that's one of the options that we talked about, was the amount of percentage, you're preaching to the choir here. We've gone through the whole exercise and we know all the numbers. The number that, our break-even number was to raise the water rate 17%. And and we felt that would bring up our average bill to what, $54? Can't see that far
That's
away.
3,000 gallons.
And that was $3,000, and an increase of $794 a month. That's what we looked at. So we have done it. It's just a matter of deciding what percentage rate we want to increase it.
You gotta increase it.
Yeah.
Go past it, pay for it, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We're gonna make more
We
than what
gotta-
we pay.
Beyond catch-up, we
Right.
right.
Well, the way David's been doing it is that that's paid. And if we go with an increase now, and make an adjustment in this budget, when we go into the next budget, we're supposed to balance out. 17% increase was $7.94 for that 3,000 gallons, which came to right around $2.
Cody, you got anything to say about it?
I'm with everybody else that we need to go above the 17%. Yes, we do. But I think I'm looking closer to like the 20-25% rate because we need to go out of the red sooner than later.
We got it on here again, we gotta do some more CDs,
Yeah.
and that just burns my vape.
Well, I'm glad we got a rock
Well,
garden out back
the
there
option
now.
would be for us to vote on whichever percentage that we think that we need to do, and that's why we've done this exercise.
Yeah,
And it
that's what
seemed
you're
like the
gonna do.
17% increase fell within that, passing along that other increase. And like the fine lady in the back said, she'd like to see us try to work on adjusting some of our costs versus just raising the prices on everyone. So that's why we went that direction, it's an option. And we have to listen to the citizens of St. Mary too. And so that's why we did the exercise in these different percentage rates. Now, if we can justify raising it 20%, and it doesn't bankrupt anybody in this city, and we don't, have a riot or something, and you want extra money from it, but we looked at all the expenses related to water sewer, detailed it all the way down to labor, chemicals, and everything else, and we thought a moderate increase would be around 17%, which would work out to just around the $2, the 17% was.
Brian, Corey, can I say something?
Yes.
I'm gonna just give you this scenario that we used years ago, and it was an honest one. When you go and go to the tap and you get water, and let's say it's, what is it, a gallon now, I don't remember, $3 and something a gallon. or 4? Okay, whatever it is.
Oh, a gallon,
You're
yeah.
getting 1,000 gallons, you pour yourself a glass of water, get 1,000 gallons for $5. When you go to the store and you buy a can of soda, $1. You could get 5 cans of soda for the same amount of money that you can get 1,000 gallons of water. How many of us drink soda? How many of us drink beer, wine, and all the little niceties? And we think nothing of it. But when we get 1,000 gallons of water for $4, we cry and cry and cry about it. Think, use your common sense, folks.
Well,
You can afford water.
they pay $1 for a bottle of water.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
You can afford to buy water at the rates that you want to increase it.
All that makes sense. What we want to do, and certainly with your input, is to raise it appropriately and to cover our expenses. And there's an exercise here that goes all the way up to 30%, and we need to focus on what percentage it is that we want to increase it and put it up on for the agenda and the vote for May, I guess, right?
Yeah, and you guys pick a number and I'll have the orders.
Yeah.
So,
Because we don't want to catch them with the youth in it, we don't have.
so,
So I guess each person would say what they think it ought to be, right? So we'll start with Cody down there.
I think we need to go to 20%.
Water and sewer.
Yeah.
and what is that going to make the water sewer bill? Then the average bill for the 3,000 gallons is going to be
5608.
Is that, no, that's just water?
That's just water.
And you add
20
sewer.
is sewer,
So if you,
if you take the 694,
the increase.
that's the increase.
The average
See what
bill,
the average
the
bill.
average bill is 56 plus So the average bill will go up to $97 a month. And that is at 20%. That's the average bill. Now, I'm gonna tell you this, up in St. Louis, they're putting in a whole new water system there, and it's costing $1 billion probably. And everyone in that city knows they're about to have an increase on their water because water's getting more expensive and keeping care of it's more expensive. And so when I'm thinking about St. Louis and what they're about to go through with their water system, I'm thinking we're doing the very same thing. All we want to do is be able to identify a number that's going to cover the expense of operating our water department, and that's why we have the exercise here. So I think that David centered on the 17% because people are going to knee-jerk reaction. The average person's paying $96 a month going forward for water if they're using 3,000 gallons.
Okay, let's keep going here.
So do we want to go that? Is that too high for our residents here to pay?
We're taking a toll right now. Jennifer's supposed to let us know her opinion.
Well, I do not want to go 20%.
Well, what do you?
I don't really want to do very much at all, frankly, because I have a high water bill myself. And so I would say 15 at the most.
Okay, Brian?
That's almost $1,000-something, a year for our average water user here, and more,
That's crazy.
$1,100. So I thought that David did a great exercise. I felt really good with 17%.
I have a question.
But add these two together, so let's tell them what the bill would be if you add these two together. Just at 17%, it's gonna be $54 and $41. No, that's 20, I'm sorry. This is, I wanted to tell you what, Lori, we're gonna see what this, at 15%. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's 93.66.
So at 15%, the average bill is gonna be $93.66. At 17%, it's going to be about $95 for the average 3,000 gallons used. So that's a lot of money. And for the person that uses 6,000 gallons or 10,000 gallons or around there someplace, their bill's going to be $100 and something a month.
Okay, we need your opinion. What is yours?
So I felt comfortable with justifying the 17% increase. Our bills are going to be $93 a month.
And then we got you, Jennifer.
Well, I just want to say that I think it's really crappy that I have to go right into this.
Yeah.
I'm sorry you do.
With not being able to really look over everything.
We're not going to go
Well,
on until...
I know, but I have a question. On the people that we're all talking about that are on the fixed incomes, what kind of a water bill do they have now? Are they 1,000 gallons a month? Are they 3,000 gallons a month? Are they the average? Are they below average?
They're probably under 1,000.
So,
All my elderly people, fixed income people, they're usually under 1,000 every month.
And what would their bill be?
Right now,
Yeah.
it's like, what, 370 or something like that.
So their bill, I'm using 1,000 gallons, would still go the same amount.
right.
Yeah. It would be, so you add that number here, plus the bottom number here, so the bill's gonna go up by $15 a month or something.
That's 50 something. Correct.
Yeah. We do have a lot
And
of.
basically, the reason for it, they can't realize they did not get that increase for these 2 years that they should have got. I don't know how you explain that to them.
Yeah, well, everybody knows it now.
Okay.
I sort of like to reiterate one thing. If you don't show that you're doing something to catch up for being in the red, the damn government will, and I'm gonna tell all these people here, I don't like paying bills neither, but I damn sure, and I thought it for years, I would not go what they demanded, but I made damn sure that we was in the black all the years, and if you don't, and they move in, then it's gonna be you people's fault. Some of you wasn't there, but if you make the wrong decision, now it's gonna be. But you can't keep operating in the black, and these bonding companies, if the DNR moves, you'll take 10% surplus.
Yeah, we felt
It'll be mandated, then you'll pay it.
we know that, Carl, and we were
But you
thinking.
don't act like it. You keep saying you're gonna break even.
All
You
we're
gotta
doing,
come ahead.
we're showing the option of what these percentages are that covers the cost.
I'm not gonna say no more, I'm through for the night.
Yes, Scott. Guy?
Point. The little community out here in Perryville, well, their water and sewer department went, you know why? Because the guy that had it didn't take care of it and went to hell on him. The guy come in and bought it. He got all the government, and you ought to see what they're gonna have to pay for their water. This ain't nothing what you're talking about, they're gonna pay a hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
You better think about that.
17, I'm thinking about the
No, you're
citizens,
not.
and I'm thinking about the percentage here. All we have to do is make our mind up on what the percentage is. I'm not here to make that decision. I think we're going to make a consensus.
Jennifer?
What is it we're gonna do?
Come on. Okay, talk
We're
about
not,
that.
we're not gonna get out of the hole unless we really do something.
That's
And for
right.
as much as I hate to say it, I think that we need to do the 20%.
And Dave, was it 17% to break even for next year? Is that why we had that box in?
I had 17% on water, 27 on sewer, with some of them independently.
That would make us
We
in the
covered
black.
the, like, you know, the 23,000 hole there on sewer and the 20,000 hole on water.
Okay, we got 20%, 115, 117.
So we're gonna put that on the agenda for next month to vote on?
We're gonna put it on there, and we're gonna have an ordinance, because we are not gonna catch no more CDs. That's what's gonna happen if we don't get something done. And if I can vote, I'm gonna vote 20%, and that'll put it over.
No, no.
Let's go
And that's
ahead.
other thing.
Let's go ahead.
You want
Mhm.
the bill to be?
I'm sure I have my thing.
Hey Gloria,
Jennifer's doing what?
Yes.
can I say something?
Yeah.
Do we have a contract with the county? Or can they turn around a year from now and raise our rates again, and then we're back here in the same boat?
They can raise it anytime.
I tell you what,
Can they?
when you leave, have him give you a copy. It is the most,
Because if
thing I read.
we raise it enough just to get us out of the hole, and then they turn around 6 months, a year from now and raise it again, we're right back where we're at right now.
What we read from the county though was they hadn't raised it in
But
9
then we
years
wouldn't have to
until they
raise it
did.
as much.
Yeah, it's been 9 years since they gave us an increase last year, and now an increase this year. And they justified that increase, it was actually a reasonable thing, but you're right, we don't know if it's gonna be next year or the following.
Right, and that's why I was asking.
But
because
each
if
time we
we're-
have that, we have to pass it along to the residents.
Right.
But if we
Immediately.
get out of this hole, we can start building ourselves up. That's what we need to do.
And I think you need to have that public thing, not just for one person, that needs to be public knowledge as far as the paperwork that Lori wants you to give out, the contract.
these things? Or the-
Whatever it is that she wants to give them, we need to.
The
That's the contract with the
So,
water
with
district.
water, that is public knowledge, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't have a copy here.
Then we need to have,
But I got one.
Yeah.
We never get nothing. If they want it.
Yeah, I got it on my desktop. I just put out
Yeah.
what you want.
Okay, that's settled, I guess.
Yep.
Okay, we got number 15 is CD liquidation.
Currently, in my QuickBooks program, general is in the red, $33,311.32. Water is in the red, $7,497.43. Sewer is in the red, $2,660.66. So altogether, we're in the hole, in the red, $13,469.41. Now, that does not reflect the deposits that the collector's office has done since the beginning of the month. When I look on the bank statements, online, general's got about 3,000, sewer's got about 1,000, water's got 4,000, but I got a $5,200 water bill I need to mail off that's gonna bounce if I don't have some money. Now I can hold off and hope more people pay the water bill in the next week, and, where I got two CDs, I got one, CD number 102 is currently $6,630.61. CD 107 is $4,274.60.
And I asked you, Dave, where those CDs are coming from, what funds?
102 is cemetery, and, wait, I got it right here. Oh, sorry, I'm wrong. 102 is sewer repair replacement, and 107 is general.
Can you take that sewer replacement out of there? I thought that was supposed to be set aside for the repair of grinders.
The only CD that has restrictions on it is the big sewer grinder one, 113, that has currently $106,000 in it, because that was pledged to USDA, so we wouldn't have such a high payment, for their, short-lived asset reserve fund.
If we cash in those two CDs, what do we got left?
Yeah, I mean, right now, currently, well, this is a little off. All our CDs all together is $186,000. We can't touch the one that's 106, so we got like $80,000. And these two CDs would take like $10,905 out of that.
Well, we're lucky that we have the CDs.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Otherwise, we'd be selling stuff.
Okay, we got an emergency management
Oh,
report.
are we gonna do a cash one, or I need to?
I make a motion that we do.
I'm trying to get away from.
Gotta pay our bills though.
Okay. All right, second. All right, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Okay. All right.
Another trip step in, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, we're ready for the department reports.
The only thing I got is, the health department contacted me. Anybody who's had contact with Floodwater, they're giving free T-hat shots, which is your tetanus, and no cost. You just show, say you're from St. Mary's and, touch some Floodwater, and, there's, no cost for you to do that. And that's ongoing, so if we get flooded in June, they'll still hold that off for our citizens. So that's all I got.
Okay, fire department.
Fire chief?
We had 4 calls this month, and all 4 missed calls. Everything is, we're getting ready to put our new pump that we got from the conservation grant on our 51, our tanker. The other thing is the carburetor for 41 got sent off to be repaired. Anyways, because my ISO inspection is gonna be coming up, and to keep our insurance rates down, that truck's gonna have to be in full service and pass the flow test and pump test. The other thing is too, I don't know what's actually going on with my fire funds. I'm turning around and I'm having things coming up that money's going out and I'm trying to figure out where it's going. I don't know, like on receipts wise or anything. I mean, certain receipts that I'm seeing that it's actually in the water and sewer fund, or if it's in the street fund or whatever. And right now I'm making a list to turn around and get that all back to Dave here, turn around and find out what's going on. And the other thing I would like to go back to, and it's your guys' opinion, but I like to go back to PO numbers, PO order numbers. So whenever I have to go to O'Reilly's or go to Buckeyes to get something, I have a PO number I can give them. It's on the receipt, and that's where that money went to. Because
how do we track it now? Where's the track?
We track it now just by signature and by what comes out. So if I put on there, if I go to O'Reilly's for the fire department, I put on their fire department and turn around and I sign my name to it. Or if Cody goes, he puts fire department, signs his name to it. We did have a problem in the past where Perryville accidentally, I guess, well, the clerk at the Buckeyes, they ordered over $1,000 and something worth of stuff and turned around and it was actually Perryville that bought it. And I guess they accidentally put it underneath our account. That's what I'm kind of checking into too, to make sure that that is not what happened. And they're sending us bills for something we didn't get.
Yeah, we used to have that all the time.
Yeah.
It's not much.
So, in my opinion, I think I'd rather go back to PO numbers, order numbers. That way, if I come and I say, hey, Dave, I need a PO for, Buckeyes, I can get the number from him and go to Buckeyes and get what I need. And that, he can track it a lot better. I can keep track of it a lot better. So, anyways, because the other day I had to come down here and give him a $5,000 check for my railroad grant because it got put in the city's name in the fire department, and we're getting a couple new sets of turnout gear, and my guy's coming down this weekend to fit my guys for it. And anyways, come to find out, we're sitting in the red on our fire account. And I'm trying to figure out, somewhere along the line, money got thrown around somewhere and I don't know where it went.
Just that issue with the city clerk. Yes.
Well, I mean,
the other simple fact is, and I do know this, and it's nothing against Dave on that, but if he don't get a receipt, turn around, and receipts are number one thing. And if I come in for the sewer plant, water plant, whatever, buying something for grinders or whatever, I write down my signature and turn around and I put on there what department's coming out. Anyways, that way it's right there in front of him, he knows what's going on. And that's just the only reason why I want to go back to PO numbers. That way I know he can give me a PO number, put fire department on it, and that's what it's going to be for. And my other suggestion is, and I'm not being mean, but I think it'd be better off for all the departments. That way turn around and we know where that money's sitting and going, in my opinion. So.
Is that it, Frank?
That's all I have.
Brian? That's it?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay. Police department.
I had 63 calls, including an alarm. I believe I was going up there at the church. And it was still secured and everything. Nothing was out of place. I had one open door or window to investigate, 4 animal calls. There was 3 medical calls, and 1 fraud, 1 investigation for fire, which is somebody burning off leaves. And then had 1 property damage, 1 trespassing, and then 1 vandalism.
Okay, that's it, huh?
That's it.
Okay, well, have we got any more, anybody else have anything else to say?
Mayor, I have a question for David.
Okay.
On our general fund revenues right now, how is that, balance out to zero, or, you know, that, I didn't have that number here on my worksheet tonight. I mean, you're transferring money into general revenues to right credit card, is that what it is, how you do that?
For water sewer, I've been taking out of general.
Okay.
General's been in trouble, so I've been pulling from other little funds, trying to keep up general, not balance.
Okay.
But general's something we'll have to address pretty soon as well, because our general budget, that we passed had a $53,000 deficit.
And at the next meeting, I'd like to see us get on the agenda, Madam Mayor, the discussion about our general revenue funds and how we can increase them. And that's going to have to be through expenses, because we are a city of part-time income with 4 full-time employees, and we need to be able to manage those things better. But hopefully, we can have a discussion about it next.
Can I get a second to sponsor that?
Make a motion that we adjourn, Mayor.
Second.